And here we are, the deed is now done. So early this morning I got up at about 6:30ish, grabbed a shower, got taken down to theatre quite just after 7 o'clock. I can remember sort of having what probably were quite tedious conversations for the anaesthetist around what I do for a job, but he seemed quite interested, particularly around my meal deal accomplishments. And then the next thing I remember was waking up thinking that it was moments later and nothing had really happened. So I was quite confused to be wheeled back to my room, feeling very, very thirsty, having been nil by mouth for a few hours at that point, and then obviously going through an anaesthetic. But the process itself has been relatively pain-free, so I've got a couple of marks on my lower back where the bone marrow was extracted. They are slightly tender if I bash them when I move about or sit down, but not too bad. At the moment, I'm kind of sat attached to that drip there, making the clicking noise in the background. So you can see it's feeding fluid into my hand. And if I unplug it from the wall, then it beeps irritatingly. So I suppose I could move around to where the different power sockets are, but I'm quite content to just loaf in the bed, given how little sleep I got last night. Not through worry in particular, just bad planning on my part. I thought I'd go to bed early and then woke up at 12 and then couldn't get back to sleep, which was not ideal. So I've been making up for that since getting back from the operation. I got back, obviously I can't remember exactly when I got back because I was still coming around, but it would have been, it's not a particularly lengthy procedure. I did grab some breakfast and then nodded off, at which point a volunteer from Anthony Nolan came to see me, but he was kind enough not to wake me up. But he did subsequently come back, which was nice, and just to see how things had gone, and to kind of give me a little bit more information. And one thing that he was able to tell me, which was lovely, was that obviously Anthony Nolan operates on an anonymity basis, so you don't know who the donor is, or you don't know who the recipient is from either direction. That could change in coming years if both parties consent to it, but in the immediate aftermath you don't know. But what I found out today was, I found out yesterday because the surgeon sort of inferred it from looking at the recipient's weight, was that my recipient is a young child, and it's a young boy. And given that the catalyst for all of this journey that I've been on was Joel, then that's particularly moving. It's a slight personal foible, I suppose, because it doesn't make any difference whether the recipient's an adult, a boy, a girl, or whatever it is. But I don't know. That just it felt particularly fitting to me. The other thing he did was he gave me a bag of goodies, which included things like a T-shirt and this rather natty little badge, which I don't know if you can make out there, that says donor on it, which is quite nice. So it's nice little tokens, and it's a nice reminder of what what we've been able to achieve together as a team to apparently give kind of young. I suppose the one benefit for it being a young child is that children have a better chance of survival through this kind of treatment, which means that hopefully my donation is going to have the best possible chance of actually saving somebody, which is awesome. And then what else is happening? Not a lot really. I've had a pretty nice lunch. I'm pondering the menu to see what to have for dinner, and then tomorrow it's home time, subject to a few checks and things. But everybody seems really pleased with how the procedure went, the quality of the. I've been complimented on having good bone marrow. I don't know what that means, but I suppose it's a compliment. I don't know. I'd rather have that than bad bone marrow. And they've been pleased with not only how the procedure went. That bone marrow will now be off on its way to the patient who's receiving it wherever they are, and they've been pleased with my recovery as well. So the only medication I've had other than the anaesthetic is a bit of ibuprofen and paracetamol. So the kind of stuff that you've got in your cupboards at home. And to be honest, didn't really need to take those, but just took them as a precaution in case I started hurting. I've got a few more hours left on the drip, just to make sure that my fluids are right. And I've got this bizarre bruise on my nose. I don't know where that came from. I don't think they extracted bone marrow from my nose, so perhaps I bashed it when I went to sleep, but I'm sure that wasn't there yesterday. But aside from that, it's it's all gone incredibly well. So I don't think I could have really hoped for a more straightforward process. The nurses, the doctors, the surgeon, the anaesthetist, the volunteer from Anthony Nolan, the guys who bring me the food, the cleaners, everybody here has been incredibly lovely, and they've taken really good care of me. And yeah, you know, kind of if anybody is, you know, kind of teetering on the brink of volunteering but not sure because of how it might end up should you get the call, which is still really, really slim, then you know, kind of treat this as a reassurance. This is supposedly the most challenging method of stem cell donation, and it really, you know, I won't say it was pleasant, but it really hasn't been particularly tough. You know, I've had worse injuries from playing football or doing other things, which hopefully I'll be doing again in a couple of weeks once I've had a chance for my back to heal a little bit. So yeah, that's probably the only update really. Some of you might have heard me on the radio this morning or seen me on the BBC website if you're in Nottingham. Sorry about that, you know, I can't help myself. I'm also talking to a lady from the Telegraph on Sunday who was interested in finding out more. So, you know, I'm happy to support Anthony Nolan in publicity or you know, kind of trying to help encourage people to sign up, because I do think it's really important. So I'll close with that really, which is, you know, to sign up, get yourself onto anthonynolan.org and get yourself a spit kit sent to you. They will only accept applications from the age of 18 to 30, but if you are between 30 and 55, then go to deletebloodcancer.org.uk and they will do the same service. The two databases are linked, so, you know, kind of there's no risk, you know, just sign up for one or the other, not both. And basically, you know, kind of once you've done that, then you've done everything as you know, everything you've done in that small act is just as amazing as what I've done. It's just that potluck happened to pick me out of the hat when it came to be someone who needed a match. So do that, and that would make me happy. Okay, cheers.